this is all stuff we're still learning and haven't even truly figured out yet. I think there's a bunch of basic rules for a relationship that kind of apply to every single relationship, but every relationship is different. As well.
You say you love me, you say you care, yeah. You say I'm gorgeous with no makeup, you love my hair, yeah, yeah. And when I'm around you, they always stay, yeah.
Hello and welcome back to another Go Rice video. Today I have my favorite person,
Tez,
and me, and today we just kind of wanted to do like a chit chat video, conversation. We get a lot of questions such as how do you guys remain happy in your relationship, how do you stay motivated, not just within our relationship, but as individuals, with our careers and just everything in general life. We get all kinds of questions, and we kind of just wanted to just have a chit chat, break it down a little bit. We do have some bullet points, but we're just gonna kind of freestyle this out. So if you're here watching with me, thank you for coming to a video. If you're back, thank you for coming to another video. If you're new, welcome. Please give me a big thumbs up, like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what you want to see. Feel free to critique me, and let's just jump right into it. To start off, how long have we been together?
5 years now. We'll go over there. So, yeah.
It's been great though. I would say like I wouldn't say like
it's been amazing, seriously.
I don't want to say like it's not typical to go like this, you know how a lot of people are like, it's been a roller coaster, shit has hit the fan, you know. We've had times that were rough.
Definitely.
Don't say definitely with so much oomph. But we've definitely had our times. I don't think it's normal to not have rough times, right? But it's like it hasn't been like bad, you know.
I would say one of the biggest obstacles we had to get over from the jump was just being, I guess, at the time was long distance.
Long distance to
now.
It's like
at that time it was considered a long distance. Now it's like hop, skip away. But.
Right. Like basically, for those who don't know us, who are new to the channel or just don't know us, we're both from the same area. In our last video together, you might have heard us say that, or no, my first ever video, you might have heard me say we've been together. No, we met in elementary school. Sorry. And that is true. That's not bullshit. We met in elementary school. We actually grew up in the same neighborhood. I never saw him in the neighborhood. We always talk about him. We're like, what? Like, I was roaming the neighborhoods. He swear I wasn't. But it used to be me and Alyssa roaming the neighborhoods, me and my other best friend. And
shout out Irv.
I used to see Irv all the time. Like, I remember seeing Irv, but I never used to see you. I remember seeing Jason, Dino, all those people. Shout out to y'all, SAC people, but never you. So that's crazy. But from the same area. And when I got to the summer before 8th grade year, I moved about 30-45 minutes away from this area. And so, yeah. And then we kind of like, what do they call it? Rekindled.
Could you try again?
Ain't nobody call you Siri. Sorry. So, yeah, we rekindled 2014. We were 16 years old, fresh 16-year-olds. Like, we had just turned 16.
Right.
And so
the summer before junior year.
Right.
So, man, I was ugly. I'm ugly. Like,
he was out of my league.
I'm still ugly.
No,
but
shut up.
Then, man, it was rough. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't care as much then, but it was rough looking back on it.
Yeah, we was just starting out. Social media was brand new back then too.
Especially for me. I didn't even start Instagram until
I actually, yeah. So the funny thing is, he wasn't a Instagram, Snapchat guy. But when I did find your Instagram, you had like 2 pictures up, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, if you seen those pictures, you know. I was with Calvin, Jafar.
You had the bucket hat on.
That was Calvin's bucket hat. I was like.
And the funny thing is, though, we had 2 classes together in 7th grade. For anyone who went to Whitman, Team 7-1, we had Miss Chesney, and we had the
Miss Fritz.
Sketcher Shape Up lady. That's how I remember. And
Fritz.
And you didn't look like
they were
that.
both really good teachers, though.
They were great teachers. Miss I was just a little bit bad. But
and Miss Chesney taught us the 50 states like it was nothing. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but
oh my god, you remember that too?
She had us on that like, whew.
Yeah, you had to know that.
Yeah. And
it's crazy because people, like, till this day, that's like really handy. People be asking me stuff, and I'm just like, oh, that's right up next to Kentucky, isn't it? So. But anyway,
I would say, that was the biggest thing we had to get over initially, or biggest obstacle.
Right.
I guess if you could call it that.
Right, 16-year-olds, we weren't driving yet. We didn't have our permits yet or anything.
Nothing.
Didn't have money. Like, yeah.
I was, whew.
It was crazy.
I was ugly. So I was just learning everything.
So yes.
I would say that's one of the biggest obstacles we had to get over initially.
Yes, it was nothing but FaceTime.
Mm-hmm.
But
it also made us strong.
It really made us. Oh my God! It made us very strong, and we learned each other a lot. So do not underestimate, because people used to underestimate us. My sister used to call us a cyber relationship, and laugh at us.
We really were.
Yeah.
A lot.
People used to be like, oh, like we would be in each other's headers, and it'd be a screenshot from FaceTime. Bitch, we ain't care. It was crazy times, but like we would literally be falling asleep. My phone was overheating, all types of stuff, crazy times. But we cherish those times a lot. They like.
Yeah. Another quote we learned to like is.
You can't remember it. Oh yeah, I don't know which one you're talking about. What?
Something about distance.
Oh, how are we not gonna know the quote? That's some sash.
That's some sash.
Once we think, I'm gonna think of the quote before I even post this, and we're gonna put it right here. It's
something like absence makes the heart grow fonder. Something like
to that effect. It's yeah. We used to say it all the time though.
But
and it was like our little
basically the idea is that through being away from each other so much and having no choice but to interact over FaceTime and text messages and stuff, it only made us really appreciate each other when we got together. And some people might say that could be bad, and it can be, but I think it worked out in our favor to the point where when we got around each other, we really realized how much we wanted to be with each other and continue it. I guess
it's not because of sex, even though y'all little nasty shouldn't be doing nothing at that age.
Definitely couldn't have been because of sex.
Yeah.
So
there's no sex you can do on the phone. And we were pretty innocent people too. Innocent hearts. We had our moments. What they call it was before we glowed up. So that's how we know that we really liked each other, because I was looking a mess. I was going through them phases. But yeah, I mean, we had all kinds of conversations. We realized that we had a lot in common, a lot that was different as well.
Definitely a lot that was different, but you know, those things I think also helped to bring us together too.
Right.
You know, like her culture is a little bit different as far as her dad's side and whatnot. So. And
it's cool because you really learned about it. We eat Korean food almost too much.
Oh yeah.
But no, the cool thing about you is that I remember you used to just love to listen to me talk. It might not be that way for everyone, but now it's a little bit different.
No, I really did.
And it was like we would just be asking each other questions, and I don't know, just getting to know each other, and that was like the foundation of our relationships. That's what we consider the foundation of our relationship. And yeah, we started seeing each other, and we've been inseparable since. But yeah.
Another thing I would say is it's all about the mindset that you have. You know, as a guy, I hang around a lot of, or not really, I guess.
Back in the day.
But yeah, I guess you can say in school I was always around other guys and stuff like that. So, or at work even, and so oftentimes in conversation it comes up like, don't you feel tied down, or don't you miss
controlled,
all that stuff?
Don't you miss going to parties and stuff? Because especially at that age, it's more common to be around young men who are just looking for just looking to just party and stuff like that.
Right.
They're not looking to settle down all the time, and so that's what he was around.
There's nothing wrong with.
Nothing wrong with that. No.
You have to want a relationship to actually, I feel like,
sustain one.
Yeah, I think if you want that life, just don't be in a relationship. I think it really is that simple. The fact that I didn't really crave that life and any of that stuff, it just made it a lot easier to just kind of be with somebody and just kind of ride out with them and see how that goes. And it's been going great so far. So I feel like there are plenty of options. Everybody lives their life in a different way. And like I said, that's why I feel like it's all about the mindset at the end of the day. Once you're ready to get in a relationship, I feel like that's when all that other stuff has to kind of go out of the window. And
you gotta give it.
That's when it kind of happened. I wasn't really a big party or anything before that anyway.
He went to parties. You're normal, okay? You went to parties. He got some.
I know what you said.
Got some ass.
I'm saying not like that. Though. Like I said, I was ugly. So if I went, it was like, with people, and it was like, yeah.
He was a little party guy.
If anybody watching this knows me, they gonna say Tez was not the party guy. Trust me. Nowhere.
I wasn't really a party. I had strict parents, so I wasn't totally innocent. I used to definitely have some fun, throw my ass, but I wasn't like a party goer. So it's shake my ass,
Right. Move on.
Hey.
Another thing is, I think that in order to really, like she says, sustain the relationship and continue, I think you have to work out your conflicts in a respectful manner. One thing I really do like is, it's not what you fight about, it's how you fight. So if you're throwing words all the time and just taking shots at each other all the time, and hitting below the belt and really trying to come for each other's character, or
right,
really just doing things out of spite because you're mad in the moment and saying things that you may regret.
Yeah. Don't get us wrong, right? Because we are
really different.
We are very far from perfect. That's what I want everyone to know, because you may look at us and be like, what are they doing so right? How they made it this far?
I think what we're going to do, we should do, is put a disclaimer at the beginning of this video of us literally saying, this is all stuff we're still learning and haven't even truly figured out yet. I think there's a bunch of basic rules for a relationship that kind of apply to every single relationship, but every relationship is different. As well. So I feel like some of the main things that we're going through are things that are kind of
specific
specific to us, and more for us kind of common sense, and things that you may or may not feel that you end up even needing or wanting to be a part of.
Right. You may not have to apply certain things. We've had arguments that weren't necessarily healthy. But we have lines that we never crossed.
Right.
We have boundaries, what we call it. Like, never has he ever called me out of my name, bitch, whatever else people say. And never have I ever done that to him. And that's just because there's no turning back when you do that. That's always somewhere installed in the back of a woman's mind. And although you can apologize and move on, and it's there. And never do we ever talk about each other's body. One thing you want to do is the way I feel about you is I care so much that I don't want to make you self-conscious, right? Because like my job as your girlfriend, not my job, I feel like it's my duty naturally to just make you feel secure if you don't receive that anywhere else, So never would I ever be like, oh, your dick is little, just because I feel like some type of way, or oh, I could do better, or blah 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 blah. Like, that's some things that just should be never said,
Right. That's really what it's about. Ultimately, you're going to be defined by how you handle your conflicts, and it really there is no way around that. people that have been together the longest work out their problems in a respectful way. Not always the most respectful, but like we said, there's a line that you just can't cross. And once you cross it, it becomes easy to just push that line farther and farther and farther, and to the point where there becomes no line.
Yes.
And
yeah, that's.
now you guys are just going back and forth at each other all the time. Arguments are happening more often, and sometimes people even stay in those relationships, and it's almost just like, you know, kicking the can down the road, and you know, it can be unhealthy. It can lead to damaging both individuals. So like we're saying, we're not perfect.
No.
But there's definitely a line that we know not to cross, and I think that's definitely what's got us this far. From watching other people, and you know, I guess you can say other relationships, you kind of can see what not and what to do and what not to do. You know, so I guess, you know, you can be a sponge and soak up a lot of things, but only what you need to soak up. You know, for me, it was like I didn't really have an idea necessarily of what a dad was, or I guess I could say a husband or a boyfriend was supposed to be, because my mom was a single mom. Now, that's not an excuse, but I can say that it just makes it so that way you have to learn yourself. And for the people who do have that in their life, I would say take advantage and kind of look at your situation and kind of analyze it and just see if it's truly a healthy relationship, even with your parents. And if that's something that you want, I would say emulate it. Not necessarily all the way, but pick up key points that they do. And I feel like at the end of the day, it's going to start at home. So this is why
and I want to say in response to that, because there's a lot of people who say, you'll see it on Twitter, right? Like people will be like, oh, you gotta like hold a man down, you gotta stick through whatever, through the hard times, through all the cheating and stuff like that. That's not where I stand, but in response to what you just said, growing up with just a single mother, not really having much of a father figure, spouse, kind of husband figure to look up to, me as a woman in my role in this relationship, I've always felt like it was kind of like my duty to just remain patient with you during the times where, you know, because it's like, I mean, you've always been, your mom did a very great job with you. Like, you hold doors, you're very respectful, you're sweet and caring, you're just a great person overall. But of course, there's those little things that we've had to work on, and it took learning. And it's not just, oh, I'm sorry, and then it's done with it. Maybe a couple discussions down the road, you know. But being patient with each other when it's worth it is important, you know.
Definitely.
Hey, buddy.
And right, I would say definitely the patience is a big thing. You know, realizing that nobody is perfect, so it really is just two people molding each other into and telling each other how they want to be loved, and really loving each other how they want to be loved. Everybody wants to be loved different.
Exactly.
And I feel like that's why some people don't necessarily want or need to be in a relationship, because the love they want maybe doesn't have to come from one person, which is fine. That's why I think that, you know, if you're not ready for a relationship and you're watching this, don't feel rushed to go get into one. Don't feel like you have to be in one. Or if you're watching this and you feel like your relationship's going downhill, maybe try to come at it from a different approach to your partner. So look at him or her and say, hey, if we want this, why don't we try to fix it and do things that are beneficial to us in the long run?
Yes, we've had those talks before.
Sometimes it really just takes sitting down and looking at yourself, and especially as a man, and realizing that, you know, a lot of the things you do affect the relationship and the mood of everything. So just changing the way you look at things. And another quote, I really do like quotes, by the way. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
Right.
So when you're coming into a relationship and you're still worried about all the outside noise and how much you're missing out on, I think that's a big problem with today's generation. It has always been a problem, I guess, but fear of missing out. And I guess I would ask those people what you're missing out on, and most of the responses I would get are clubs, parties, you know. I guess the attention from other people, and that's why I say, if that's what you want, I feel like that is best for you to stay single for at least the time being.
Right.
Until you're ready to receive all that attention from just one person.
A life partner, and build that partnership. Because like you were saying, with relationships, I just think that when you're ready for one, they can be so, it's beautiful when you're in the right one, you know, when you're actually giving it your all, and it's beautiful. But when you're not giving it your all, you're kind of like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. It just can be unhealthy, and then it's what they call toxic, and it's a lot of
and that can happen quick. I feel like
it can,
and I feel like it's easier to deteriorate a relationship than it is to build it up. I feel like it takes a little while to do things like regain trust once you break it, or take back words, which really can't be taken back. They can only be, you know, smoothed over, and then hopefully they forget it, or you can kind of, you know, it's really hard to take back. I guess that's what the end of the day what I'm trying to say. Because
that's why, when, not to cut you off, when they say, you'll hear most people saying, what is your advice for relationships? And most of everyone will say respect is like number one, because it is just like one big pot.
The camera died.
Yes. But we're actually going to wrap it up. And if you guys want a part 2, we have so much that we could talk about.
Wait.
What? I mean, we're going to keep talking, but I'm saying...
I'm saying, no. What were we talking about? Something that was really like...
Yes, we were. So I was saying the pot. I would say the pot itself is called respect. And there's plenty of things that go into that, but respect is that number one thing you should always have for each other, because then you avoid hurting each other's feelings so much, and yeah, just be protective of each other.
Yeah, and just remember, words mean a lot more than to certain people than you may think, and in this day and age especially, words can mean a lot, and they can also mean very little. So I think it just depends on who you're talking to, and I think when we're talking about just being in a relationship and talking to your partner, one thing to always remember is, don't say anything that you would have to cover up or that you would feel embarrassed. You know,
talk about with
just imagine if you were being looked at on the outside, would you want their parents to know you talk to them like that? That's a big question you have to ask. Would you want your daughter to talk like that? You know, all types of things. So I think that's a big thing to consider.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up.
We're definitely going to do a part 2. I think we're going to keep it kind of short for now, but
yeah, we'll see how you guys' response is. If you guys have any questions, first of all, that we can address. But I think this is something we're very passionate about. Is just talking about us. That's a little conceited. It's like, no, we do get a lot of questions about relationship advice, but it's also something that I think is important, because you know, if there's anything that we know from going through the ups and downs and going through these past several years together, all the obstacles that it took, good and bad, we want to just provide you guys with anything that we know from our history. And so yeah, is that it?
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, I hope you guys like this part 1. I'll get it up.
Comment what else you want to hear, I guess. You know?
Yeah, let us know what you want to hear. If you have any questions, you can even use your own.
Part 2.
Yeah, yeah. If you have any stories that you want to be like, oh, what would you say in this? Like, we really would love to discuss it, honestly. So just let us know. You can DM me too if you don't feel comfortable commenting it.
Remember, we're still learning. We don't have all the answers, so
yeah, don't look at us like, oh, they think they know it all. We don't. We don't.
Definitely not.
No. We're young. And but anyway, we're gonna see y'all later. Alright? We gonna get out of here, because I gotta make dinner. And thank you, babe, for being on this video with me. Love you guys. We're gonna see y'all later. Guys, I just wanted to insert in a little clip right here, because excuse me, I don't have the Rona. I realized that we should have planned better for this, but we're just trying to freestyle it. But really, this is actually supposed to be like a motivation video, a video where we kind of give advice and blah 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 blah. But
It looks like we were kind of long-winded in my opinion, and what do you know, it's like 20 minutes into the video and we're like, dang, we should wrap it up. Maybe if they want a part 2, we'll do that. So I really hope that if this was not what you guys expected, because it really wasn't, it wasn't up to par with what I wanted to create and what he wanted to say. Really, we have a lot more that we wanted to say. But so that we can get straight to the point, I really want to know what any of you guys might want us to talk about. If you have any questions, give us some ideas based on, you know, your friends, whatever. DM me, y'all know. Okay, thanks. Bye.